Hey guys, gals, and MVs, I'm here today with the sequential Trigon 6, and I haven't made a video on this synth in a while, and we're just going to have some fun with it. I'm going to make two patches, and they're going to be pretty cool, at least in my opinion. And we're going to add a few effects here. I brought out the Erica Synth's Night Verb and the Hologram Electronics Chroma Console, and they just go really well with this synth, so that's what I'm going to use. So yeah, I guess let's get started. We're going to make a kind of a pitch shifting patch as the first patch. I'm going to call it the Lo-Fi Sad, and yeah, it'll be pretty fun. So let's hold down preset and press right so we get a default patch, an init patch. And we start with a really nice sounding sawtooth, obviously, because the Trigon is just a good sounding synth all just right out of the gate, so it's always fun. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start with a triangle waveform, and we are going to bring down the volume so we don't drive the filter too much on this one. That sounds really good. Alright, let's shape the envelope, shall we? We don't want it to be too long, but we don't want it to be too short either. Alright, we're getting there. Maybe a little less on the volume. Really nice sounding triangle, obviously. And so we're going to use the polymod section for this. So we are going to use oscillator 3 as the oscillation source, or the LFO source basically for it. And one of the cool things we can do with oscillator 3 is stick this down into low mode, which turns this into a pretty slow oscillator, so it's good for LFO. We're going to disable keyboard tracking. We're going to turn the pitch to around here. In this mode, pitch and octave kind of become like your LFO speed. And then we're going to use the oscillator amount here on the polymod to set it to the right amount. I already did this off camera. I kind of know about the value that you need to do it to pitch shift up about 7 semitones. So it really depends on the tuning of your synth. You're going to have to figure it out either by ear or by using a tuner. I did it by ear. I matched it with oscillator 2 when it was 7 semitones up, so a fifth. But yeah, so it's, at least on mine, when it's fully done or tuned, it's right around here. As you see from the die here, my patch I had on here was already the patch that I'm kind of like explaining, but it's around there, and you'll hear that in a second once we go to frequency 1. So here. And we're gonna turn up this a little. Oh, right, we actually have to set the waveform. Make sure again that oscillator 3 is set to volume of nothing, basically. But now if I turn this on, we should get the change. There we go. That might be a little too fast. I don't know, that sounds pretty good. And because it's a polyphonic modulation source, depending on how you play whatever you're playing, you're going to get cascading echoes. And I know we're using a triangle waveform, so the filter isn't going to do much more than really bring down the volume of it, but it'll add a little bit to it. So we want to bring down the cutoff just a little here. I think I had it right. I don't even remember where I had it. Was it here? I mean, that's good. And then we're going to bring up the resonance so it peaks the frequencies right at the cutoff. Alright, I think that sounds pretty fantastic, and we're almost there. Now we're going to use one of the kind of hidden features of the main LFO. The main LFO is just a global LFO, so it's not polyphonic, but it doesn't really matter in this. We're going to add a little bit of texture to our oscillator. And to do that, we're going to use it in the noise mode. To get it to noise mode, what you do is let's set frequency of 1 here. We'll turn up the amount all the way. And we're going to set the shape to random. All right, you get that sample and hold sound. But now what you want to do is you want to turn the frequency all the way up. And now what that does is instead of using the random, it actually, at least according to the manual, it brings in a noise source as your modulation source. As you can hear that, it's like a white noise almost. All right, and we're going to turn down the amount. I just wanted to let you listen to what it really sounds like. Could bring down the pitch a little. And now you can hear the polyphonic nature of that modulation source. So if I go here, if I trigger here, right, we're going to trigger here, and then we trigger a note up here a little later, you'll hear them cascade. So. Fun things we can do, obviously, with the 6 series. I call them the 6 series. So you have the Prophet 6, you have the OB6, and obviously you have the Trigon 6. You can turn up pan spread, and it's a dedicated knob. Yeah, it really sounds gorgeous. And now what we can do over here, we have the chroma console. I have the sweeten enabled. Movement is set to the doubler, so we get kind of a double tracking effect. And we have cascade set for the delay portion of it. And then we have cassette set for the texture. So that'll sound like this. Well, nothing, right? Now something. Gorgeous, right? All right, let's bring in the night verb. Let's listen to the night verb by itself. Let's bring in the chroma console, shall we? So that's what it sounds like. I think it's gorgeous. You have to let me know what you think about that. All right, we're going to do another patch, and this is kind of like, I tried to get an Oberheim sound out of the Trigon 6, and I call this It's Not an Oberheim as a pun on the It's an Oberheim patch. That's a thing on the new TO5, and I believe on the OBX6 or 8, sorry, OBX8. I believe it has that patch as well. So it's here on this setting. I'm not going to let you listen to it yet. We're going to just make it. So let's do that. That gives me some guide to how I had this set. So let's turn off that. All right. And with this is a fairly simple patch, but there's a little bit of tweaking that we're going to just do. We're going to use 2 saw waves. So, and we are going to use it at full volume because we want to push that filter. We're also going to use some drive in a second, but let's make it a little less obnoxious first. So let's add a little bit of detune on the second oscillator, which will thicken it up. Right. Already getting there, right? And we're going to shape the filter in a second. But we're going to bring in a faux sub-oscillator, but we want to make it a triangle. So let's bring in the third oscillator. Let's bring it an octave down. Sounds extremely massive. It doesn't have that almost, I don't know, it doesn't have that smooth but yet kind of hollow sound that an Oberheim synth has, but we can change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the filter section. We want to add a bunch of release, probably right around here. Yeah, that's where my dot's coming up. And we're going to bring down cutoff all the way. We're going to stick it in 2-pole mode. We're going to bring up quite a bit of resonance. I think I had the resonance. Yeah, it's pretty far. Oh yeah, it's right about there. So lots of resonance. You can hear some bleed through on the on the filter in 2-pole mode. So we need to have some attack here. Let's have lots of attack. I think I had the attack right around. It was pretty far up. Yeah, we'll just mess with it. I have the sustain right around there. Let's turn some release. Let's turn the release on the amplifier up too. So for some reason we weren't getting the envelope being put into place. That was interesting. But yeah, we kind of have that sound. So that's pretty cool. We're getting that Oberheim style sound. We're going to turn the drive all the way up. Maybe a little less resonance. Really aggressive sound. Really kind of, we really do have that Oberheim style sound coming through. And now we want to add some pan spread, of course, because that's like one of the best features of these synths. Change the second oscillator just a little bit so it's a little less out of tune. We can add a... No, we're not going to add anything. We're just going to use the sawtooth. Let's bring that down an octave and really listen to that. Maybe a little less on the envelope. we bring the attack all the way down, we kind of get that percussive oberheim sound. Yeah, I like that a little more, but you can turn it into a pad, obviously, really easy by just changing the attack on the filter envelope. This gives that more of, like I said, that oberheim sound. And now if we add some effects, we're going to use the same effects we used on the last patch because they just work so well. Let's add the knife ribbon. And then we have the patch that I nickname, or I don't nickname it. It's its name. It's it's not an oberheim, obviously because it's not, but it has that feel. So yeah, that's just two patches I wanted to share with you. I really enjoy using this synth. I use it off of camera a lot more than I do on camera. I just don't know how many views that the videos with this synth in particular for tutorials is gonna do, but I decided to bring it out again. I use it in a lot of music. I should post more music where I'm using the Trigon 6, but yeah, it's really fun. It's a nice pairing with the MPC Key 37 as well, so maybe I'll do some tracks that way. Alright, so that's pretty much at the end of the video. I hope that helps somebody out if you have a Trigon 6 and you just have been stuck in a rut, trying to figure out what kind of patches to make for it. It's a really damn versatile synth, and it just sounds really great. Oh, we could add one more thing to that patch to make it even funner. Let's add some vintage. I think I definitely had vintage in my original patch. Yeah, so that's basically the end, at least with these two patches. It is fantastic synth for many, many genres of music. It's super versatile, as you heard there. It doesn't even have that Moog style sound. Yeah, I know it has a ladder filter, but it really doesn't show it there. When you get the resonance way up and you really drive that filter just right and you put it into 2-pole mode, it doesn't really have too much of a Moogish flair to it. it kind of really has like an Oberheim sound. So yeah, just wanted to really share that with everyone, and definitely works out. Yeah, 6 voices. That's the only thing about the TO5 and the Take 5. Wish those were 6 voices. 6, you don't think that an extra voice is super useful, but it really is, especially when you're like, playing multiple, like a triad and then lead lines and stuff like that, because then you don't run out on long sustains. But yeah, anyway, end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.